Another email from Anonymous. Should I tip at places like Subway when I don't eat in the restaurant? I always feel guilty.
Yeah, this is akin to like the when you're picking up your own carryout order,
Yep.
right? When
Yeah.
you're going into the counter. First of all, I didn't know that Subway had the option to tip if you were just like going in and ordering.
Probably
in front
up
of
to the
like,
franchise.
sandwich artist. That kind
I'm
of-
also thinking of coffee places. If you're going in
sure, right?
and getting a coffee and leaving.
An equivalent to might be a lot of like Jersey Mike's and Firehouse and Jimmy John's places. The little bit nicer sub shops often have the checkout screen, like where you can input a tip on the screen as you're like paying or whatever.
Let's assume they mean there's a tip jar out at a place that's a sub.
Well, either way, let's address it because the places have the digital swipe your card, do Apple Pay.
Okay.
Do you want to do a tip 10, 15, 20 buttons that you can hit?
right.
I think we got to talk about both.
Okay. I'll get mine out of the way. If it's a sub shop, I'm not going to tip unless they like go above and beyond in some way. And that could be how efficient they are. That could be them not charging me for extra meat or cheese. That could be them just being very, very friendly and having a really good attitude. If one of those things doesn't happen, I'm probably just paying for my sub and walking out. If it's a coffee shop, definitely not tipping if it's drip coffee. But if it's a handmade drink, again, I may tip there because it's not a normal process that they're following, right?
Do you
They're-
tip at like Starbucks?
If it's a handmade drink, and sometimes I will. But if it's just drip coffee, I'm just going in for drip coffee. No, I'm just getting out of there.
I'm going to go straight to the throat on this one. No, you don't need to tip at Subway or Jersey Mike's or any of those places. Now, one thing I have learned, we talked about this a lot at the beginning of the pandemic and as we were all doing all these curbside things, and somebody reminded me that a lot of times the person doing carryout might be a normal server who's like stationed at the bar / carryout area,
Right.
and they're not getting normal tips like as if they're doing tables. Now, we don't know if they're inside also doing serving tables and doing carryout, but let's assume for a second they don't. I now draw the line at if I'm walking into the business and I'm picking up off of like the Chipotle to go area, or I'm grabbing my subs, like the prepay, even if I go in and order it and pay and walk out, I'm not tipping any of those places
Yeah.
where you like, I'm walking into the building to get it. If it's a sit down restaurant where somebody's bringing me the food and the situation is likely what I mentioned, that they're working carry out and not a normal set of tables, I will tip. I'm not tipping as much as I was tipping at the beginning of the pandemic, where I was tipping as if I was sitting inside
Sure.
and getting refills and getting extra bread and whatever. But I am tipping on those. So I would say sub shops, no. If I'm walking in to get the coffee or I'm doing the drive-through, I'm really doing all the work. And those rolls are typically not like serve table tipped rolls. So I would
Is there
say
a
no.
situation in which you would tip? What would Jake, the high schooler behind the counter at the sub shop, have to do to get a buck from you?
I don't think it's that. I mean, I would say if somebody was super friendly, but normally the issue there is like if I go into my local sub place, there's 2 or 3 people all making it, and like each person is only touching it for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, and the sub is done in a minute and a half, and 3 or 4 people have touched it on the way to
Sounds
checkout.
like pretty good service. You
If-
might want to.
Well, even if you give him that look, like, can you throw some extra cheese on there? And he's like, I got you, man. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, so maybe if I saw one guy busting it and he greeted me and he's like making the sub and he takes his gloves off and he's very quickly ringing me out. I might tap the like tip button on the checkout screen or throw $1 or $2 in if I had it. Maybe if it's like one guy busting it to like take care of everybody, I might do that. But I don't think, to me, that's really no different than pulling up to a fast food drive-through window. Like,
Okay.
I'm not tipping in that situation. I'm walking in to get the sub. I'm placing the order. I'm carrying it out. Like, to me, it doesn't feel any different.
Yeah.
Kendall?
I'm very similar. Generally speaking, in carry out situations, if I go into a pizza place where I would normally tip a driver, and I don't know why I feel this way, I just have a $2 rule. Like I don't care percentages, anything of that nature. If I'm walking into the pizza place to pick up the pizza, $2 goes on the tip line. If I'm walking into Olive Garden to pick up something, I might bump it up to $4, but I'm not figuring out a percentage there. But Subway specifically is something where I figure, if I'm walking into McDonald's or Burger King, they're not even asking for tips. That's not something we do. Let's not make this more complicated than it already is. Subway, you don't get a tip when I'm coming in. And so that I feel like for me, that's I don't have a rule per se. It's more of a feel. And if it's a fast food kind of place and I'm walking in and getting it, I'm not tipping. That's
All right. So that's 3 no tip and only 1 tip if.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
you're good.
I don't
feeling
even
guilty.
I don't even tip when I walk in to pick up pizza. So if I deliver it, of course, and I'll tip generously.
Right.
But you're
I'm
right.
not-
I was
I'm-
saying for sub shops. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm not tipping off on pizza when I walk in to get it and sign and walk out with it. But
Yeah. No, I'm willing to admit my thing makes no sense.
yeah,
Because if I'm
interesting.
getting it delivered, I work the percentage game.
Yeah.
If I'm picking it up, $2.